Welcome everyone to Ladies of the Kitchen 30-minute chat. And next to me, oh, I wish she literally was next to me because I'm so
It would be
excited
so
to
much
share
fun.
with you. Yes, Jasmyn Camp. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. I mean, I could go on forever, but she'll be sharing her story. So here's the highlights of this wonderful lady. I think one of the biggest honors anyone can extend to an entrepreneur, to a female that has really worked hard in a business is the title of friend. And truly,
Mhm.
that is what Jasmyn has been to me. She found me on Facebook. And since we met a few years back now, she has totally up-leveled her own story, business, helping others. She's the proud owner of Jay's Intuitive Life Coaching and Empowered Healing. And since that journey began, she's coached several women. She helps them find their hidden talents. She makes self-care a priority, which a lot of us forget about. And lastly, but not least, she has now her own podcast which comes amongst her many accolades, and it's called Empower Her Podcast, Elevating Women's Voices. What a great way to introduce someone with a wonderful voice and story, Jasmyn Camp. Welcome to Ladies of
Oh,
the Kitchen.
sure. Yes. Told you back there how inspired about your story, about who you are, and all the challenges you overcame. And I do consider you a friend as well. And I still learn so much from you and so much from your story. So thank you for having me.
Well, you're welcome. So let's dive in. We both have our little beverages that I have
Yes, I'm
mine in
drinking
gold,
you.
and you're drinking a hydrate or something to empower you, and so am I.
Yes.
So here we go. I would love to start with having you share how you transition from a corporate professional environment to doing what you're doing today. Was it something that you just, whoa, I got to do this, or how did you come about?
Yes. So my background is in accounting, and I was an accountant for almost a decade. And so what happened was I loved my job. I loved the people that I worked with. I loved meeting business CEOs, entrepreneurs, even women in high jobs and had high levels of stress, and just getting on the phone, talking to them. We kind of course, focused on business, but it was always, hey, how's your children? How's life treating you? How's your day going? So that was always something a little personal that I would add to my professional life. It wasn't until COVID happened, and of course, the world shut down. We was working from home. I had the kids at home, and I realized that my work-life balance wasn't what it needed to be. On top of not having a good work-life balance, I started to lose interest in my job. Not necessarily the company, but the work that I was doing. I didn't really feel fulfilled anymore. I felt like I wasn't making a difference. Of course, I was collecting revenue, I was doing bank transactions, I was assisting the company. But when I closed my eyes and went to sleep at night, I felt like the impact that I was making wasn't significant enough. So I really, prayed about it. I started thinking about it, and then I talked to my supervisor, and I love her dearly. She is probably the one of the best managers that I have. So I was telling her my feelings and my thoughts, and she just encouraged me. She told me, "You're a great listener. You have such a positive vibe about you. Go out there and find what's best for you." So I decided to enroll into getting my life coaching certification, and then I started building my business from there. And I think one of the major things, of course, I started off in trauma, and I struggled with that because at the time, I was very young, in my mid 20s, and I was still trying to rediscover who I was and heal some of the things that I was going through. So I ended up shifting more so to self-care. And as recently, since we started reconnecting and talking about business, I shifted back to, of course, incorporating some trauma healing approaches with self-care approaches and tying that into helping female entrepreneurs connect with their aligned clients.
Oh,
And
I
that's where I'm
love
at
that.
now.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. And I love how we're always revisiting. Some people don't revisit, reflect. They go, no, I got to do this just perfect and right. But it's nice to take moments to reflect and say, how can I maybe change this and make me feel better and bring more? So I heard that in your evolution. I love it. So with family, and I know family's important, what does your morning routine look like?
Well, school is getting ready to start back up for the kids. So my morning routine is getting ready to shift again. But usually what I do is I'll get up and I'll just sit in bed. And I start thinking about all the things that I am grateful for. And so I spend maybe 5 minutes just showing gratitude. Sometimes I say it out loud. Sometimes I just show it in my head or say it in my head. And then after that, I, of course, get up, brush my teeth, wash my face, clean my area, and then I take my dog outside to handle his business. And while he's outside, I just do what I call the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. So I think about 5 things that I see, 4 things that I hear, 3 things that I smell, 2 things that I can physically touch, and then 1 thing that I can taste. And that kind of helps me decompress from whatever anxiety I have of the tasks that need to get done, or the kids needing this, or appointments that I have. And of course, after that, I get breakfast, the kids get breakfast, we talk, see how each other's doing, how's everybody night is. They do their chores, I sip my coffee, and then I just go into my work and I start my day that way. But I will say this, having a morning routine is so important, especially for a female entrepreneur who is balancing multiple tasks, multiple roles and responsibilities in an 8-hour setting. So it transitions your brain from, of course, the overnight and the family realm, and it mentally prepares you for whatever challenges you're going to face. So if you don't have a morning routine, I highly encourage you to get one.
Oh, I so love that. And mine is, I love the 5-4. You need to
Yes.
put that in a PDF because I just love that because I have something similar where I go outside and I look up and sometimes it's really dark. So all I do
Mhm.
see is maybe the silhouette of a tree or stars. But the fact that I'm just outside and just taking a moment of quiet, all that you said so beautifully is so key to just shifting the mind to like,
Yes.
right? Instead of, okay, gotta go get that cup of coffee. Okay, gotta do this. Gotta, right? So,
Absolutely.
speaking of the morning routine, because one of the first things a lot of us do is go grab that cup of hot tea or coffee or whatever we're going to have.
Mhm.
What is your favorite food emotionally, physically, and like you and Jess, and spiritually? What are your top 3 in each of those? Because
Okay.
we fuel our body in every way, right?
Yes. Yes. Mind, body, and soul is all interconnected. So what we eat, what we think, what we say, and what we believe affects all aspects. So it's funny. This is hilarious. I was just thinking about this last night. I eat, unfortunately, my guilty pleasures come about when my nervous system isn't properly regulated. And my guilty pleasure is a cosmic brownie. Also, Haagen-Dazs butter pecan ice cream.
Ooh,
Yes. And I like the Keebler's rainbow chocolate chip cookies.
I haven't tried those. I've heard about
You
those.
should try them. Try them. They are delicious. And I was just thinking about it last night because I stayed up until like 2 o'clock in the morning trying to fight the urge to eat cookies. But I was thinking, maybe getting those chocolate chip cookies and then getting ice cream with the pecans in it and a little caramel drizzle would be amazing. But I didn't do it because I didn't want, of course, that's a lot of calories and a lot of sweets late at night. So that's my emotional, I would say, emotional triggering dessert or food that I like to eat. But on a normal basis, I usually stick to a routine. So for breakfast, I either have half of a bagel, two boiled eggs, and yogurt
Oh, good.
with coffee and then water. I may or may not eat lunch depending on how I feel and how I'm processing. Usually, if I eat lunch, it's probably pasta or rice. And then for dinner, I make sure I have a protein, some sort of carb or starch, and then some vegetables. So that's usually my normal routine, and that's what fuels me emotionally and mentally. For spiritually, this is so important. I go to fruits. I go to fruits or I go to vegetables. I think my new thing is raw broccoli and ranch.
Oh, I
And
love
I'm
it.
low-key kind of obsessed with it. I don't know if it's the taste or just the fact that how it makes me feel. Oh, and bananas and peanut butter. So bananas and peanut
I
butter and
love
then
bananas
broccoli
and peanut butter.
and ranch. Yes.
And you know
I
what
was
they
never
say?
a butter
Yeah, they say
person.
that as we transition, we somehow, when we start changing ourselves and connecting more with our God, the universe, whatever we want to call it, we
Mhm.
start connecting more with true plant life and the nature of life. And those are
Yeah.
all, broccoli, bananas, grow on trees, all that. It's like a calling from nature for you. That's so cool.
And you know what's so interesting? Well, two things. Bananas also help decrease depression.
Wonderful. I bet you a lot of people don't know that. Women always just think it's about
Mhm.
potassium and magnesium and fiber, but no, that's awesome.
And it's funny you say the thing about nuts because, like I said, when I take my dog out, I'm becoming more observant of my surroundings. And so I found out, it didn't really dawn on me, but I found out I actually have a pecan tree in my backyard.
Oh, I love that. Do you know
So
how
it's, and then I
precious
started
those
growing
are out here
potatoes.
on the West Coast?
Yes.
They're like gold because the transition, we don't grow them out here as much as you guys do. I mean, it's really hard to find a pecan tree on the West Coast.
So
Oh,
maybe when they sprout, I'll send you some in the mail so you can just have one.
please. My
I
son-in-law would love
definitely
you
will.
because I make an awesome pecan pie and I'll have to put one in the mail to you. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So
Oh,
let's get to what was your very first job and did that help you in any way at all to propel you or transition you in some way?
well, if we're being honest, I didn't like the word no growing up, and I wasn't a person that really asked a lot for a lot as a child. So I remember one time I wanted a cheerleading outfit. It was when Bring It On was a crave. And so I saw the cute little cheerleading outfits and I wanted one, and my mom said no. So I said, okay, I'm just going to make my own money. So I got my little sister and I got my sister's friend. I said, hey, we're going to go wash cars. We're going to ask our parents if we can go outside and play. We're going to wash cars. And we're going to wash cars specifically for money because we're going to get cheerleading outfits. And
I
so they
love
were okay.
it.
So I went around knocking on people's doors, and we were in Italy. So it was a military base, which was completely secure and safe. Thinking back at it, an 8-year old going around knocking on doors
Right.
as a, but I'm thankful for the time and the space. So I would literally go, we did it for a whole weekend. Friday, after we got out of school, we went. Saturday, and then Sunday after church, we went and we washed cars. We made over $800
And
and we
this is
split it up.
back
So
then.
back
Girl,
in
little
like
entrepreneur at 8.
early 2000s. So that was kind of like my first job. And I was like, okay, the delegation came naturally. Of course, money management was always something that was instilled in me. So I always knew the value of a dollar. And then I was bossy. I was a bossy child. So having little employees, especially my sister, was easy for me. So I would say that instilled that entrepreneurial drive of wanting to have my own business and create opportunities for other people as well as myself to obtain the things in life that we want, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's mental health, whether it's taking care of your family or just showing up for your children. So that's kind of what fueled the entrepreneur spirit in me.
Oh, I love that story. So obviously, when someone comes to you and asks for
Mhm.
a good piece of advice, along with their coaching, or maybe you just met them and maybe you will coach them, maybe you won't. Is that a story you share, or what piece of advice do you give them?
So I haven't really shared that story. I probably need to share that story because it's so important. And it goes and ties into the advice that I would give them about showing up as your authentic self, push you in the position to attract the aligned clients that you're looking for. And so I think back then, compared to the mindset that I had to redevelop, it was just about knowing what I want, knowing how to get what I want, and putting things in place to attract what it is that I want. I wanted the cheerleading outfit. I knew I needed money for the cheerleading outfit, and I knew the obstacle was that my mom would not give it to me. So, what do I do to get from not having the cheerleading outfit to having the cheerleading outfit? Well, I had to look at my circle. Okay, I know my sister likes cheerleading. Our friend Naomi likes cheerleading. How can I motivate them to tie into my vision? And
That
so it's the
is
same advice that I would give to people now. But the problem is, especially growing up, we no longer have that childlike innocence and intuitiveness. We go through so much trauma, we experience so many things that we start losing ourselves bit by bit by bit, and then we spend decades trying to rediscover who we are. So the
not to
best
mention our
advice that
confidence, right? Because
yes,
no one told you not to have confidence. You just figured that's what I do, right? Yeah.
right. And so the best thing I can do, especially for female entrepreneurs, because women go through so much in life and we wear so many roles and we have so many hats, is figure out what is true to you and who you are. Then show up as your authentic self. Overcome those obstacles of the things that you tell yourself you can't do or the things that you say that you aren't. Overcome those obstacles and then just show up authentically, because when you show up authentically, you never know. You might meet someone 2 years ago when you were starting off your business and then reconnect 2 years later.
Yeah,
You
like
never.
us. Here we go. So what are you reading right now that you feel is it something totally to help you with work? Is it just a fun fictional novel? What are you reading?
I'm glad you said so. Let me up because I have it on Audible. It's this book. So I've really been diving deeper into my own traumatic experiences, overcoming them, of course, learning about business. But there's this book that I'm reading by Ayala Van Zant.
Oh, I
Here
love
it is.
her.
And it's
Oh,
called
what's it called?
Get Over It. Get
Yes.
Over It.
Now, is it a
Get
relatively new one?
I think it's one of her older
Older
books.
ones, right? Okay,
She
I
has
haven't read that one.
He has a series. And so I like this book, and I started reading the book after I read a marketing strategy book. And
Oh,
I think it ties in together because many of us are afraid to put ourselves out there. We're afraid to share our story. We're afraid to show who we are authentically. So we learn the marketing strategies, but we don't know how to properly implement them or how to structure our stories. And so I love the sequence of it because now she breaks down, okay, the traumatic experiences that we have, why we have them, and how to get over it.
oh, fantastic. And the marketing, was that very business oriented? What was the name of that book?
Yes. So that book is called Marketing Made Simple by Donald Miller.
Donald Miller. Okay. Some people may want to know this, so I'm jotting him down. I'll put that in our notes after the chat. So, what would you say has been a real memorable key moment in your life to this point?
I think other than, of course, having my sons, they're a big integral part of why I do what I do, and they keep me grounded. They keep me sane
How old
for
are
the
they?
most part.
How old are they?
Now they're 7 and 9. I think,
Wow.
yeah, when we met, they were 5, and I was going through that transitional toddler to child phase. So it was a little stressful, but now they're 7 and 9. Other than them being a key integral part, I think it's women meeting women like you, connecting with women like you, networking, because you never know how it turns out. And so when you reached out to me, I was in a process of transitioning things. And it was funny because when I talked to you, I was focusing on trauma.
And it's funny, it's
That
like
year
full
I was.
circle, right? Because that's kind of where I
Exactly.
was. I just love that. So, do you think you've made your aha moment in life?
I made the aha moment in life for the season that I'm in. But like I said, talking to you and understanding your full life experience, I realized that each season comes with different aha moments.
Mhm.
So I know this is the aha moment for now. There's going to be another aha moment when I transition later, but I feel like I finally have clarity on what it is I'm supposed to be doing, where it is I'm supposed to be at, and who it is I'm supposed to be connected to.
Is there someone in particular that you truly admire in the world?
You know what? I hope he never sees this. I admire my partner so much. He's been very supportive even through the tough times, through the hard times, through the triggering times, through the emotional outbursts, through the frustration, through the stress, through the highs and lows. And I'm not saying particularly in the relationship. I'm speaking for me going through this journey of rediscovery, redevelopment, and healing. He's always been there, even when I push him away. And so for me, it of course is empowering, but it really has me take a step back and really look at, okay, why am I like this? Why am I so triggered by this? How can I heal, or what aspect can I heal to be able to continue to be authentic, to show up, and to also provide him with whatever needs he have emotionally, mentally, or spiritually that he needs from the relationship. So I admire his perseverance. I admire his strength. I admire his wisdom. And I just admire how loving he is and how he doesn't have a problem telling me about myself.
You know what? You just touched my heart because I know if someone asked me that question, I don't think I could have verbalized it any more eloquently than what you just did because mine is my partner too. And I just feel that he has helped me uncover a lot of the layers
Yes.
of onion of my skin and of my traumas that I've been carrying. So I just thank you for stating in that. That was so beautiful.
So welcome.
So right now, what would you say is a way that you want to be remembered in the world?
Um, my legacy. The first thing I would want to say is I want when people think of Jasmine Camp, I want them to think of me as a loving person, as a caring person, as a considerate person. Love is a commodity in and of itself. It's something that we all need, yet something that we all don't know how to express. So when I leave, my biggest impact on this world is sharing love and providing it for other people as well as myself. And I want people to, when they think of me, to get inspired, to be able to, okay, her story shows me that I can do this for myself. I don't care if I'm 70, if I'm 7, if I'm 17, I can go out there and I can achieve whatever it is that I want to. It doesn't matter what background I have, what race I am, what support I need or don't have. I can be whatever it is that I want to be. So when people think of me, I want them to, one, think of somebody that has gone through very similar things that they have gone through and overcame it. but not only overcame it, but overcame it and still allowed themselves to be a loving, kind, gentle person. So, yeah.
Tell us something totally interesting about you that no one really would go, what? She did that, or she was that, or she accomplished. What amazing little adventure or situation have you done that you go, that's kind of interesting?
So I don't really talk about this much because I'm still trying to navigate it, but I'm autistic.
What? I love
See?
this about you. I had no idea. Okay, first of all, explain to people, because I think a lot of people have a misconception of what that is. So maybe in nice adult civil terms, explain it to our audience.
So autism, and I don't want to say that it's a disorder because it's not. It's a neurodivergent, I would say a symptom. We have a way of viewing the world from a vastly different perspective than most people. The neurodivergent community is vast in and of itself. And I think the stigmatism that comes with autism is that people think that it's a special needs. If you have autism, you need certain things put in place. And that's not necessarily the truth. There are some on the spectrum who need a little bit more love and care and support. But there's other people, like you said, that you would never suspect are autistic unless they show it or unless they tell people that it is. So it's a neurodivergent condition. And basically what it means is that my brain process information at a higher speed than most people. And on top of that, I'm more sensitive to my environment. I'm more sensitive to energetic fields, and I'm more sensitive to frequencies. My friend, she put it from a spiritual aspect. She says people with autism or neurodivergent conditions are just highly intuitive and advanced spiritual beings. So that's another
It's
way.
your business. And that is so beautiful that you tied it up in a bow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that and putting it out there. Perfect way to come to our conclusion here. Tell us where we can find you, where we can get some more goodies on Jasmyn, both on, social media, whatever, and I'll be putting it down below.
Yay. Okay. You can find me on Facebook at Jasmyn Camp, JasmynCamp. You can find me currently on Instagram, and I'm getting ready to change my handle from trauma to triumph. And
Oh,
that is from trauma, the number 2, triumph. And I'm going to change my handle probably later on. I've had it for years since we met. So I
yeah,
didn't
you
want to
have.
change.
And I still love it, but go ahead.
Yes, I might keep it. You never know.
Yeah.
Also, you can find me. The business is Jay's Intuitive Life Coaching and Empowered Healing. So you can find me at my website. I am in the process of rebranding, like I said, and I'm focusing more on switching from just focusing on trauma to teaching female entrepreneurs how to overcome their trauma and then use their story to market to their aligned clients. So
Oh
there's
my
going to
gosh.
be some resources, some journals, some prompts, some ebooks and workbooks that are coming out that can assist female entrepreneurs with doing that,
Oh my
as
gosh.
well as the program in and of itself.
Yes. And then the podcast, you've got somebody really
And then
cool
the
coming up.
podcast. Yes, and I'm going to rebrand that too. I still want females entrepreneurs to share their story, but I also, instead of just focusing on self-care, I want to tackle everything that we as business owners deal with as women, from working in male predominated industries to self-care, to managing multiple roles, to that confidence that we talked about, to the fear of failure, the fear of success, imposter syndrome. So I'm going to navigate and change that so we can really talk about and dive deep into what we're dealing with and how we can overcome it.
Oh my gosh, you are such a light. It has been such a joy. I know everyone that's listening is going to say the same thing. Thank you. And
You're
my
so
3 hearts and the one in here is saying thank you. And thank you all for watching. We'll see you next month on Ladies of the Kitchen. Goodbye, Jasmine. We'll be talking soon.
bye, Maria. Yes, we will. Thank you.